We begin tonight with the migration crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border. The United States has begun flying would-be asylum seekers out of a Texas border town. A makeshift camp at the Del Rio International Bridge has quickly grown to more than 12,000 migrants, most of them from Haiti. Local residents say they don't have the resources to help them.
Thousands of Haitians have crossed the border from Mexico to the United States, ending up in makeshift camps in Texas. Living under this bridge, they lack the basic necessities: no shelter, food, water or sanitation. More than 12,000 people are waiting to be processed by immigration authorities. Many made the desperate journey through Central and South America, fleeing poverty, violence and natural disasters, looking for a better life. For the past week, migrants have been crossing the Rio Grande from Mexico into the town of Del Rio in the U.S., trying to bring food and other supplies for their families.
There's not enough food for everyone in the camp. It's very bad. We have to leave to look for food.
Overwhelmed by the influx of migrants, the U.S. government is trying to stem the flow. Border agents have stepped up security, preventing people from entering and leaving many in limbo.
With the Mexican guards here, I can't cross here, and I also can't cross there. There are no options because I could keep going to the U.S., but if I go back to Mexico, they'll send me back, and I'll lose the money I have.
Some are being moved to shelters and immigration processing centers, but they've been scarred by the harrowing journeys that brought them here.
I walked and ran, with migration officials chasing us. Not all people are good. There are bad ones too, and they scammed us in other countries too. They took our money. We survived a lot of calamities.
While a humanitarian crisis unfolds, the U.S. and Mexican authorities have ordered the deportation of hundreds of Haitians. Thousands more could follow. It could become one of America's biggest expulsions of migrants or refugees in decades.
And for more now, we want to go to our Washington Bureau Chief, Ines Pohl. She is at the border crossing in Del Rio right now. Ines, it's good to have you with us. You've been talking to people there. What have they been telling you? What's happening at the border right now?
Well, Brent, behind me, behind this fence, people are being put in buses at this very moment, and some of them will be brought to airports and be flown out to Haiti as soon as possible. We talked to the border control and asked them if we could enter and do our jobs as journalists and report on what exactly is happening here behind this fence, but they didn't allow us in.
And so can we describe what the conditions are like underneath this bridge where all of these would-be asylum seekers are living?
It's extremely hot here. It's more than 40 degrees Celsius in the shade. That means over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. And again, this is in the shade. Therefore, all these refugees kind of search for some shelter under this bridge. The circumstances are devastating. We could talk to some people who have been there last night. They don't have any food. We heard that in your report. There are hardly any toilets, there's hardly any water. One woman went into labor, so the situation is just devastating.
And the U.S. has launched this mass expulsion of Haitian migrants from Texas. And what message is the U.S. trying to send to people who are trying to reach the U.S.?
Well, Brent, there is one picture out on Twitter from a colleague. I think this will be the iconic picture of this event, if one can say so, of that. What is happening here right now is a picture of border control on horses. They are cracking their whips on Haitian refugees, trying to prevent them from coming here to the United States, seeking asylum, seeking some human treatment. And this is the exact kind of message the administration, the Biden administration, wants to send. If you come here, we will send you back, even if that means we send you back to a place like Haiti.
And Edith, you are describing what is obviously a crisis at the border, and yet the Biden administration still refuses to call it a crisis.
Well, Brent, these are the worst images for Joe Biden at this moment. He's facing harsh critiques anyhow because of his withdrawal from Afghanistan, which led to tens of thousands of Afghan refugees already seeking asylum here in the United States. He gets harshly criticized by his opponents of his refugee policy anyhow. So I'm sure that he also doesn't want to come here because he doesn't want to be associated with these pictures. So he just tries to kind of resolve this crisis as soon as possible by sending these people back.
All right, our very own Ines Pohl in Del Rio in Texas tonight. Ines, thank you.